Boosting productivity is something I get asked about a lot. It's usually couched in conditions such as, if I could just be 20% more productive, then I'd feel more on top of things. Especially this time of year when the end is in sight and we're rushing to finish stuff off, rather than having those things hang over into the new year. But being productive isn't about jamming more stuff into your day. It's about doing what matters most and creating spaciousness in your day-to-day so that you can maintain your focus, your energy, and your creativity. Aligned action is the key. Today, I'll be sharing how you can use alignment to boost your productivity. Let's get started, shall we? Well, hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the Project Joyful podcast. I'm your host, Tracy Tutty, your medical herbalist and high performance coach. So hey, Project Joyful isn't just about being happy. It's about consciously creating a life you love. It's about remembering how to reconnect with your soul-centered joy. You know, that joy that comes from doing what you love, from living on purpose, and from being in a life that allows you to experience deep joy moment by moment. So hey, let's get started, shall we? When you look back over this last week, how would you rate your productivity? If you chose a number between 1 and 5, with 1 not being productive at all, and 5 being I was off the charts productive, where would you be? And how do you feel about the score that you just gave yourself? If that score isn't what you hoped for or what you think you need to stay on top of work or life, I've got some great tools for you today. Not being as productive as we'd like to be is a common challenge. According to the Task Management Trends report, workers report that they're working on tasks associated with productive work just 53.3% of the time. The main culprit? Well, it's no surprise there. It's interruptions and distractions. Workers reported an average of 31.6 interruptions a day, and they attended an average of 25.6 meetings a week. And this resulted in losing 2 hours of productive work time each day on average. And that's assuming your meetings are productive meetings. Now, researchers at UC Berkeley found that it can take between 8 minutes and 25 minutes to get back to the matter at hand following an interruption. So if we're getting interrupted up to 31 times a day, well, those interruptions are practically a full-time job. If you manage a team, being interrupted can be part of your day. So if you're wondering how to manage your team and still be productive, don't worry, I've got you covered. You see, here's the thing. We often confuse being productive with being busy. In fact, we tend to celebrate people who are super busy. It's something we open conversations with, like some sort of badge of honor. And look out if you don't seem busy. Rather than getting curious around how they've managed to dial in their day, we think that those people actually don't do anything. Taking the high performance habits viewpoint, being productive is about getting those things that matter done on a timely basis without compromising your relationships or your well-being. You see, it's not about jamming more stuff into your day, waking up agitated because you're already mentally cycling through your extensive to-do list. It's about alignment. It's about being really clear about what you're delivering and when it needs to be delivered by. Then investing the time to break that deliverable down into bite-sized tasks that have a beginning, a middle, and an end. So you get to feel great every time you tick those little tasks off. Want to leapfrog the steps needed to deliver your outcome? Then discover the keystone action. A keystone action is that one thing which will make all the other tasks easier, quicker, or it will alleviate the need to do some of the tasks. So as an example, when I'm creating a podcast episode, the thing that makes everything more efficient is spending some time up front determining the 5 key points that will deliver that episode topic. The next step is the research that supports those 5 key points. I had an interesting conversation with a client last week around productivity. She was focused on all the things she needed to get done.
and all the things were leaving her feeling anxious. And here's why. Your mind has just one job, and that's to keep us safe. So anytime we feel anxious or overwhelmed by the magnitude of the things that need to get done, we turn on the survival switch. We are now in fight, flight, or fawn. Oxygenated blood rushes to our arms and legs in case we need to run or fight. Power moves into your jaw in case you need to bite down. Anytime you're aware of aching in your jaw, it's a clue, because stress leaves clues. So it's time to regulate your nervous system rather than get that head down and push through. I know it seems counterintuitive. You want to do anything other than rest up. But that's exactly what needs to happen. When we're fighting for our lives, and that's what your mind thinks is happening, operations are run by your amygdala. It's emotion-based. It's reaction-based. It's your survival mechanism. It helps you to become single-minded, focused, also known as tunnel visioned. You won't see the keystone action. You're not engaging your creativity or your reasoning. They're different parts of your brain. And because you're on red alert, those parts of your brain don't get a look in. Want to be more productive? Do something different to your habitual response. Breathe. Regulate your nervous system so you can think outside the box. Get really clear on the one thing that matters most. Not the 12 things vying for your attention. That one thing. Now, what's the one action that will leapfrog you to that outcome? Just focus on doing that. Don't worry about all the other stuff. Just focus on that one thing. Do that, then create some distance. Go for a walk. Do some deep breathing. If you need to, because you're at work, go to the loo and bounce up and down on the spot. Anything to regulate your nervous system. This is active recovery, and it's help you keep confirming to your mind that you're all good. And if you're ready for the next deliverable, do that. Get really clear on the one thing that matters most to you right now. What's the one action that will propel you towards that deliverable? Now go do that. Then once it's done, breathe, move, and regulate. Just imagine how productive your week could be if you chose to take these 3 steps. Number 1, get clear on the outcome. Number 2, complete the next right action that will propel you towards the outcome. Number 3, regulate. Sending you lots of love. Bye for now.
Hey, thanks for listening to today's podcast. Can I ask you a favour? If our conversation spoke to you today, could you please take a moment to leave a 5-star review? Your review will help people discover this podcast, and together we can create a world where there's even more love and more laughter. And if you want to hear more from the Project Joyful podcast, just click the subscribe button. Bye for now.